Hey guys, it's Phantom here and welcome back to a brand new video everyone. So in this video I am pretty much going to be going over all of the changes in the up and coming spring update for Wizard101. And yes, I know that Blaze did a similar video like this. He posted it like a few hours ago or something, but I just looked at all of the new changes now that are currently in test ROM. And I've got some mixed feelings, I suppose, regarding some of the changes and how they're deciding to do things. But anyways, without further ado, if you haven't seen the updates yet, I'll just run through them really quickly. So they're speeding up not all the AoEs, actually. That is a point I want to make. They're only speeding up some of the AoEs. Here is a list right there of definitely some AoEs that very, very badly needed some animation changes. I mean, just some standout ones right now, like Rain of Fire, Raw, Forest Lord. All of those were just spells that took a very, very long time, and this is actually a good change in my opinion because I think it's going to make questing a lot faster, a lot more efficient, and people will definitely want to use these spells more. So this is definitely very, very good. Deer Knight, I also believe, took a pretty long time, so I do like this change for sure. There's also new skeleton key bosses, so there is one in Grizzleheim. And I believe in this specific key boss, you can actually get spell elements to upgrade your Grizzleheim lore spells, so I'm definitely going to be going for spell elements for Ratspin. That's all I know. Anyways, though, that is really, really cool. There's also a caramel key boss where I guess you can get these unique marshmallow wands from him. So, yeah, there's gold skeleton keys. This is wood and stone and gold, so I guess this one's like a tiered boss. But anyways, you got those two secret bosses that probably drop some other cool stuff as well. Then you got some new Beast Moon events with new rewards, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about that too much. You got some new beast forms as well. And then, of course, there is this gear set. There's this specific gear set that was in a teaser, I do believe, for the spring update. And the thing is, my problem with this is, yes, the gear looks really, really cool. It's really, really visually pleasing. However, the only way to actually get this gear, people thought it was going to be dropped from, like, the Grizzleheim key boss. But no, you actually can only get this through the Beast Moon event. So I'm kind of disappointed in that because I don't personally think Beast Moon, especially Beast Moon Monster Mayhem, is very fun. But I guess this will give some people a reason to do Beast Moon. So I guess that's a thing, but I wish there was another way to actually obtain this gear because it does look really, really cool, and I would definitely go for it. But it's in Beast Moon, which definitely kind of sucks. Anyways, though, I guess the Decathlons will also offer this sort of weapon that goes along with the set right there of wolf gear. Alright, and so coming up next, this is actually really interesting. I did not expect them to do something like this, and I'm kind of surprised this is the first time I'm hearing about this, but they added 14 new trainable spells, 2 for each school, that were previously only available as treasure cards. So this is really, really interesting. I believe you can just train them from, each school professor, but I'm not sure about that, but I think that's what that means, at the applicable professor, by just using training points, but then you can get spell elements to actually upgrade these spells, so that is very, very interesting. The only thing is, you can get these spell elements, I believe the only way to actually, it'd be made available in various ways, starting with our many popular events, so Beast Moon, Monster Mayhem, pretty much the only way, at least right now. I do believe that you can get these spell elements, which definitely kind of sucks. I kind of wish you could farm some bosses to actually get the spell elements to upgrade these spells, because once again, you know, similar to obtaining that special gear set from the Beast Moon event, I don't really want to do it. I just don't really want to play Beast Moon very much, but you know, that's just me. I kind of just wish there were more ways, that's all. I believe there is also something, so you can actually get the recipes to craft some of these spell elements, but of course you do need reagents like the dust that comes exclusively from the Beast Moon Monster Mayhem event. Once again, just not really happy that the only option for getting these spell elements is to play Beast Moon. Anyways, though, there is also combat balance improvements. Now, this is where, oh man, this is where I am a little bit disappointed. At least most of these changes, taking them at face value as I see them right now, I don't really like them. I really don't like them. So basically how they're changing damage and resist is after you obtain a certain amount of damage and resist. So for example, for PvE, so there's a damage intersection at 150, so I could get 150 damage, and I would still be getting that 1% per 1 stat point, you know, linear progression sort of system. It still works the numbers still work like that and how your damage increases with each stat point up until 150. However, after you reach that 150 damage, then it will start to curve and then you'll get diminishing returns is how they explained it. So basically it'll curve and you'll do less and less damage per stat point as it gets higher and higher for a max of 200. And then for PvE, the numbers, for PvP, the numbers are different. Of course, it is a little bit lower because PvP is obviously, you know, people have their own needs, I suppose, for that. I don't know much about that, but personally, I don't really like these changes for PvE. I honestly kind of thought the game was fine where it was, and I don't know, like these stat changes, they just seem so weird to me. There's also, of course, a resist limit, resist intersection at 100. That doesn't really change much as for PvE because bosses only have so much pierce. But the main thing I am mad about is this damage intersection at 150 because, of course, right, for example, I have like 194 damage on my fire. So now I am going to be doing way less damage than I would be. And for what? You know, after 150, I'm not getting that 1% per bonus stat point. So for me, I don't really like this change very much. To me, it just kind of seems like a nerf on our wizards, and that's pretty much it. Like, it stops there. So I'm not too happy about that, but I guess we'll see how this might change and how it actually does work when it comes to Live Realm. But for now, I'm just like, you know, it's kind of a yikes for me. But there's also a spell audit, a mini spell audit that they have done. So they've changed all blades to have plus 35%. And then they changed all traps to be plus 30%, so this is for every school besides balance, I do believe, because blah blah blah, it's universal, so it'll remain at 25%. But I don't really like this change very much. Of course, you're gonna get schools like Storm, which, wait a minute, I actually think Storm might be the only school that is getting a buff from this, which is really, really weird. You know, when you think about questing on schools like Ice and Life, you're not gonna be getting that 40% blade anymore, it's gonna be 35%. And those schools were already pretty weak offensive-wise in PvE, so I don't really like this change very much. Of course, you got schools like Fire as well that has a 35% blade, so it's not changed. Myth, I believe, has like a... Wait, what is Myth's blade? I have absolutely no idea. Is it 35 or 40? It's definitely one of those two. But some schools, I mean most schools, you're getting more nerfs than buffs, basically. And I don't really like that, because a lot of schools were already doing low damage. So, yeah. Shadow gauge feedback changes. So this is actually really, really cool because when you hover over the shadow gauge, it'll show the percent that it is actually full, so you'll get a better idea of knowing when you're going to get a shadow pip. And then a similar thing with crit block feedback changes. So if you like hover over a mob, for example, it would show your, you know, chance to critical damage multiplier as well as the opponent's chance to block your crit, so you can actually see how much extra damage you would be doing if you cast a spell on an enemy. So I really, really like that because before we didn't really have a good idea of how much our crit and our damage, I suppose, was affecting each spell. There was really no way unless someone would want to like delve into the math, but of course, this definitely makes it a lot easier. And then there's like some matchmaking updates for PvP. You can like opt out if you get an unfavorable match. You know, let's say like a player is a lot higher of a level than you. And then, of course, there are also changes. There's like this new social button where you can like become a friendly player. Like you can change your status. So this would mean like you're a friendly player. You're open to questing with people. And then I do believe also with this social button, you can also, let me see, yeah, it displays a list of players who are looking for other people to quest, and you can like contact them and teleport to them and whatnot. And then there's also this new team up volunteers thing, which basically it makes it easier for the people that were waiting like the longest amount of time in a certain world. If you were to volunteer for that certain world, then you would queue up with them a lot easier. And then you could also volunteer for like certain stuff as well. So that's cool and all. And then I believe, yeah, pretty much the last change here is that combat sigil changes. So this I'm not really much of a fan of as well, because basically what it means is if you have one player in a battle, you'll have two mobs. If you have two players, you'll still have two mobs. 3 players is the amount of players you'll need to actually get 3 mobs in the battle. And then to get 4 mobs in a battle, you actually need 4 players. So I don't really like that, because personally that makes it a lot harder, in my opinion, for defeat and collect quests, because you're just going to be defeating less. I mean, if you're solo questing, this change isn't really a big deal, but if you're questing with a large group of people, or let's say you're questing with, I don't know, 2 people, right? I feel like it's pretty popular for people to quest with 2 people. You're not going to get 3 mobs in your battle. You're only going to get 2. So to me, I mean, I feel like that's just going to be a little bit slower for questing. So I'm not the biggest fan of this change. And then they added like some concept art books, blah, blah, blah. And then of course, Wizard101 is being upgraded to like a 64-bit graphics or programming, whatever it is. It's good for the game's future and definitely an upgrade to what we had before, so that's cool. And then we've got some miscellaneous stuff, but anyways, that's pretty much gonna be it for the video, just running through all of the updates here. The reason why I wanted to make this is because I just wanted to tell you guys my opinions on each of the updates. Like, of course, there are some good changes, like speeding up AoEs, adding new key bosses is always cool, but some of the reworks, especially having to do with damage and some of the spell audits involving the blades, I'm not really the biggest fan of. So let me know your opinions though in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about all of these changes in the grand scheme of the game? How do you think this will change things? Will this affect your personal experience, I suppose, playing and questing throughout the game? Anyways though, that's gonna be all from me. Make sure to leave a like if you guys did enjoy the video, or subscribe. We're almost at 10k subs, so it'd be pretty cool if you could do that. But anyways, you don't have to. That's gonna be all from me, everyone. I'll see you on the next video or stream, whenever that may be. So take care and peace out, guys.